Being a teacher, what would be the third and perhaps final part of it all? You know, we can all, I'm sure that other teachers have different opinions, or they might even disagree on my part. But it's not about disagreeing, it's about seeing someone else's perspective. They might say, like, no, as a teacher, you also need to have authority and, you know, the way of teaching, the method. You need to be able to do that. But I believe that if you have these three main components, you're able to do every teaching job that you want. First one was preparation. Be prepared for everything in life. You see, teaching is actually a life's job. It teaches you to be prepared everything in life. It teaches you that you cannot waste a single second. This is what I have learned personally. Teaching has turned me into a stronger and better person, and it took a while. It really took a while for me to realize that if you don't prepare, nothing is going to happen and you will lose valuable time. And time is something that you will never, ever be able to get back. And I do mean never. And I know you might be feeling sad or in a depression, but remember that depression is kind of like time. It fucks you up. Make sure that whenever you're in a depression, just go and do something productive. Do something with your time. You will never get it back. Now, I will do another podcast about that because there's a lot of topics about depression, and I know a lot about depressions, but this is for another time. Anyway, this is the psychological part that we're going to talk about. You see, as a teacher, you're not just educating a student. I believe that the most important part is to make them feel understood. And you do this by actively listening to them. Whenever a student tells you that they don't understand the material, or they feel like they didn't get it because they were not smart enough, you always have to make sure that you encourage them. Never tell them, yeah, you're good, but you need to work on this a little bit more. No, that small word, but, can discourage a person greatly. You might want to avoid using that word. Now, instead, you'll say, you're actually doing well. And if you add this to this other thing, then it will cause you to grow even faster. I'm really looking forward to your new skills. Always encourage them, no matter what. If you say this to anyone, people will feel better and they will actually develop into better persons themselves. They will develop their skill set and they will be very thankful. So you see, you're more than just a teacher. You are that one person they secretly look up to, but never tell you. They might not take you seriously. But in the end, they will eventually realize that you actually did the best you could. And if you haven't, well, then there's the day after that you will improve yourself. You see, students might have a lot of high expectations from you, but that doesn't mean that you should have high expectations from your students, as every single student is different. Student A will not be able to catch the information as quickly as student B. And student C might be a better writer than student D, but student E might be a better speaker. So you see, you cannot have any expectations from your students. You can only have expectations from yourself. Expectations that you are a great teacher and you will do, or at least strive to be the best every single day. You are there to listen to them and, more importantly, to never argue. This will only lead to having a dislike. The student will dislike you when you argue with them. So it's best to just listen and ask questions. But when you do that, it might be best to do it in private and not in front or in the company of other students, because they will feel embarrassed and you might want to avoid that awkward situation. You need to be able to take the full responsibility of the students actually having learned something every single time when they leave that door. Even better if they leave that door with a smile. They need to have learned something, even if they didn't like it. They need to have learned something and understood it. And they will be able to apply it. In whatever way they will apply, it's not up to you anymore. Your job is to make sure that they have learned it and understood it, and that they have even practiced it. That's what you should do. You also need to learn that teaching is about... No. I think I'll leave this for another podcast. Then there's going to be a part 4. Part 4 is going to be good. So thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something about the profession of teaching. It might help you in other fields. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you at the next podcast. I'm out.